Welcome everyone to a Coward Plays insert horror game. We're playing Dagon by H.P. Lovecraft today. It is currently 1 a.m. I turned down the lights, so it's a nice little spooky theme. I know nothing about this game aside from Dagon is a faithful, interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work, focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. Okay, during the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them allow you to continue your journey, others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to look for the secrets, focus your eyes, right mouse button, and look for the Elder sign. Is that an Elder sign? How do I?
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Okay.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
That was pretty loud, but can I focus on anything? Is there a Elder sign in here? I mean, you need to fix your wallpaper.
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Just real quick. Yeah, turn off motion blur. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll write.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Stars look nice. That's pretty. I guess it's just a point and click adventure essentially. Who's shooting?
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Thought I was supposed to be. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay. Oh. Feel free to pause it here. Yeah. Okay. You can read the Discover Trivia immediately or go back to them later. Show trivia, so that way you guys can pause and look at it. That's kind of cool. Oh, there's walking animations now.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Oh, congrats on that. Oh. No. Just look at that sky. That's beautifully done, though. Yeah, just the bag then.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Oh, moon is bright.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
I heard something in my left. I heard it again. Yep. I hear like murmuring.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days days I drifted.
Bro, I don't like that
aimlessly
noise in the
beneath
back.
sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Ah. So I have to look for it now. Okay.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Whoa.
The change happened whilst I slept.
The what?
Its details I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
The fuck? You like what you see, little mama? What is... Am I in blood? So, homie, you stuck.
When
Alright.
at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of
That
scenery,
red.
I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying
Ooh,
fish
I don't like that
and
noise.
of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
Gross.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Yeah, it looks like kind of like a classic desert with the rolling hills, but all swampy, marsh-like texture. Oh. Dagon seems to be inspired by Fishhead, a short novel by Irvin S. Cobb. Okay. Oh, to the boat now. Okay. Oh.
As
That's
I
such a
crawled
gross
into the
smell-
strangled
sound.
boat, I realized that only
That a
one
fish?
theory could explain my position.
You pooped this all out.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been
Upheaval out of your
thrown to
butt.
the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths. So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
I strain when I eat Taco Bell, so I get it.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Yeah, there's a fish. Is there any... God, these are so gross. Ah.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water,
Right there.
preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Awesome. Let us begin our journey.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease. The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
But where's my boat? But where's my boat? I want my boat. God, it's such a nasty sound.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
Is that a bone? Oh, there's another one. Is that, are these teeth? What? It's cool. Disgusting. Oh, hey, a whale. I guess I just keep walking forward, continue my journey. Why not?
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Right there would be a nice little camping spot, block out the wind, you know? Sit down, bite off a little piece of it, you know? Get a little, get some nice sushi in, you know? Oh, right here. Alright. Sorry I clicked through that real quick. My bad. But yeah, you can't
By the
move.
fourth
Oh,
evening,
shoot.
I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
It's a light right there. Oh, shoot, there's 3 lights.
An intervening valley
Yes,
setting
look.
it out in sharper relief from the general
So weird.
surface.
Hmm.
Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Oh, don't do that, buddy.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain,
Mm-hmm.
I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
Well, that's good.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day.
What?
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
I don't like the look of it. It kind of looks like a Cyclops just to go. Oh, I don't know if I'm tripping, but like right there's the eye. Here's his mouth going. Oh. Yeah. I guess I should just pick up my pack. Oh, nope. Aha.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Whoa.
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Sweet. I'm at the top of the mountain, yeah?
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined. Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent.
Yeah.
Whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
That's good. Yeah, let's roll. Rock and roll. Rock. Because I'm on a rock.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze,
Building?
I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, when
Hey, it
no
looks like
light
normal dirt, though.
penetrated.
Plus side.
All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of
Why is
me.
it slimy?
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Yeah, I guess I should probably venture there. Yeah.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Oh, that's cool.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature.
Oh, well.
A closer scrutiny filled me with
told
sensations I
that.
cannot express.
Whoa. Don't do that.
For despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith,
Yeah.
whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
Sure.
Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Okay, so I'm likely in a place of worship at the moment. Oh, why is it still the sound? Ooh.
The moon, now near
Water.
the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm,
What?
and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't like the reflection. Nothing else to do. I don't see any other secrets. Oh shoot, that's the water. This is stuff coming out from under the water, like fishies. That's fishies. What's all of that?
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me,
Cthulhu
unlike
Daddy?
anything I'd ever seen in books,
Looks like Cthulhu Daddy in the center.
consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
And turtles.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Yeah, like what's that thing in the middle right there? Is it Cthulhu?
But whose decomposing forms
Cthulhu.
I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was
Yes.
the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
That Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings, journals and characters' notes, islands emerging from the ocean, like in the Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies. It's also considered the origin of popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon. But let's skip the details in order not to spoil the ending. Yeah!
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Sure.
The creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well.
How did I get so high up? Like, I'm really high up right now. But yeah, mer people were worshipping
Of their
the
faces and
block.
forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint, grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
This top guy looks like one of the main villains in Berserk.
They were damnably human in general.
One of the
outline,
apostles.
Despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Okay.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
That's logical, yeah.
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it.
What?
With only a slight churning to
Oh.
mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Fuck me.
Loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith,
God.
about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Ew.
I think I went mad then. Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Well, that's crazy. Like, the edges are all like you guys see, but I'm like actually going crazy. That's really cool.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Yeah, homie went crazy. As is common in H.P. Lovecraftian
I
stories.
have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in the San Francisco hospital,
Oh, that's nice.
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Jesus. Oh, hello. The atheist. Oh. Oh, that's such a creepy sound effect for a door.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon. That's the name. No, I'm surprised. Usually, Lovecraftian stories are ending like badly for the main character. The Philistines worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. He's often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to a wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew, the word dag means fish. A water deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits, reside in the ocean. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Huh. What? Oh.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
And there's the Necronomicon, which is the collection of Lovecraftian stories. See? Yeah. I'm at half. Jesus. This is half the like hints or trivial knowledge things. I found half of them. Jesus. I want to make sure that there's none that I'm missing. Okay. At least we're not stepping in that grossness. Oh, hello. Yeah, we'll head to the doors. Leave our office.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
Oh, you got bananas on your wallpaper.
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Well, yeah.
So now I am to end it all, having written a full account
There
of
it
the
is.
information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Yep. That's the classic Lovecraftian ending. Which, honestly, not that bad. Hated tobacco. Oh. Not only that, but H.P. Lovecraft was very racist. A five-pointed star with an eye flame symbol in its center. six-pointed branch, which is the original one. Any other? I don't think so. Well, let's take some morphine.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Well, later, New York.
The end is near. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
If I ignore it, it'll go away. Well, I don't like that. I don't like how, like, it moves, even though I'm not moving. That I really don't like. Well,
It shall not find me.
hello? Occupado.
That hand!
Ugh.
The window! The window!
Yes. Escape through the window. So what's going on with the... Oh, I can turn around. Duh. Did I? Cool. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. And jumping out the window with me after sailing. So, bright side, it got a scare out of me. Didn't think a game
And
like this
scary
would.
stories have been accompanying men for centuries. They
Wait,
have many faces and forms. But what is their purpose? Why do we enjoy being afraid so much? During our therapy, I'll try to...
cool. Yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in for my scares. Have a great day. Hope you didn't get as scared as me. Peace out.